Good morning, good morning, everybody. And welcome to Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day, wherever you may be around this globe. Y'all, it certainly is a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning to be intentional and do those things that you have purpose to do in your heart. It's so very important, y'all, to get those things done, whether it's writing that book or whether it's, creating that product or service for your business, whatever it may be, it's an important day. Today, don't put it off till tomorrow, but today, teach up, or well, not teach each day, but take each day as they come to you. Live in the present. Don't worry about, what happened yesterday, but live in the present and fully enjoy your life. That takes a great weight off of you when you could truly enjoy the present in your life instead of you worrying about tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised anyone. But if you take each day as you get up in the morning, you get up, you remember, you get up and you frame your day. You get up, with the intentions that before I get in the presence of others, number one, I'm going to get in the presence of God, and I'm going to empty myself out before Him, and I'm going to ask Him to fill me for this day. And then you get in the mirror and you begin to speak to yourself. Look yourself straight in the eyes and speak to yourself and say, today is going to be a great day. Today, not tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. And don't worry about, if you didn't get to do what you needed to do on yesterday. But today, each day is sufficient of itself, and live your life, because life is so short. Life is just a vapor. But live yourself, live your day, each day to the fullest. And with that even being said, learn how to appreciate yourself. Because today I'm going to talk about, are you purpose driven? Are you? Are you purpose driven, or are you out there just existing? Because I know what that was like. I know what that was like. Just existing. I thought I was living. I thought I was having fun. I thought I was on the right path. But all along, I was just existing, just taking up space, you know, idle space. And I always tell you, occupy your space. When I talk about occupying your space, what that means is being purpose driven, living with a purpose, appreciate who you are, understanding your value, your gems, those treasures inside of you. And that's where you truly live your life on purpose. And with that being said, let me take time out right now to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, and I teach you how to maximize your potential and stop leaving money on the table. And for so many women, because that's who my audience is, women. I have men that follow me also, but basically women. So many times you leaving money on the table after you have taken care of everybody else. You have taken care of your husband's needs, your children's needs, your employer's needs, your neighbor's needs, whoever's needs it is, you have taken care of. But when it comes to you, because you're so caught up in the dailies, you're so caught up in, all of this other stuff that's going on around you, this activity, that you forget about yourself. You forget about those dreams, those visions that you had. You remember, back when you were a child, how you used to dream and you had these fantastic dreams. You saw them in your mind's eye, in your imagination. And one day you said, well, I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. And you actually believed it. But something happened along the way. And that's called life. That's called life. And some of you may have strayed off the path. But I'm going to tell you, it's possible to come back to your design pathway. It's possible. You know, no matter how far you have strayed off the path, you could always come back and get on the correct path. You know, sometimes a suddenly happens in our lives. And we may look at it suddenly as a bad thing. I mean, I looked at it as a bad thing. I was devastated. I was devastated, y'all. And it took me, and for some of you who don't know, I was climbing the corporate ladder, you know, climbing the corporate ladder. And this was back, excuse me, in 2006 when the housing market went bust. And I was laid off from that job. Not only me, but a bunch of other people. And eventually they downsized that, whole department. Excuse me. Not only the department, that whole campus, they downsized it. And right now it's still in operation. This has been years ago. This was back in 2005, 2006, around that time. It's just a skeleton crew. Just a skeleton crew. And you hardly even hear of the company anymore. But it was very popular, very prominent in the area where I live. And I got laid off, like I said, through no fault of my own. But it was just a downsizing, a layoff. And I scrambled to, try to get another job because, this was in my, mind, because this is what I had been taught, just like many of you. You have been taught this, go to school, go to college, get a good job with good benefits, and enjoy life. And that's what I had been taught. So I didn't know anything outside of that. I didn't know about a design pathway. I didn't know anything about that. I just was climbing the corporate ladder, and it was real good. The money was good. The benefits was good. The perks were good. The bonus checks were good. But that disruption came. That suddenly. And, between time, like I said, sending in my resumes each and every morning and being disappointed and crying all afternoon because I didn't understand why no one was calling me in for an interview. No one. With all my education and experience, how come I couldn't get a job? And I didn't realize it. So this went on, week after week after week. And finally, I got an interview. I got another job. Worked there 7 months. Laid off again with a bunch of other people. Through, like I said, housing market. Okay? The housing market. Because that's all I knew. I knew some other things outside that, but that's what I enjoyed because this is what I grew up in. My family was in real estate. And I grew up around, buying and selling and, different things, renovation and, different things of that nature. And I've even had my real estate license. I have sold real estate. I've done mortgages. So that's what, I thought that I needed to do. But you know what? That wasn't it. And what I'm telling you right now, I was just existing. Just like many of you are, just existing. And sometimes it takes us suddenly. And to wake us up. But you know what? like I said, the first time it didn't wake me up because I was scrambling to get back out there. But the second time I realized I couldn't go back through that roller coaster ride. Because for a person who's used to paying their bills on time, before time, and paying them off, and then charging your cards back again, and doing this because you had it, and you were used to living that lifestyle, it was hard for me to be able to make, payment arrangements with with my bill collectors. It was hard for me because I felt like I was not keeping my word. And that's something that really bothered me, not being able to keep my word. And that word is, you're going to pay something on time. You're going to get it done. And that really bothered me. And even though, like I said, I had a good job, there was benefits, there was a, package that was released and stuff. But after a time, things run out. And my husband was working. And, we have 2 boys. Had just bought a house the year before. Had a house built, put it that way. And bought a new vehicle. A big truck. And when you have so much coming in, and you have bills to pay, eventually that will run out. But like I said, I was just existing. I wasn't really living. So what that did, that put me in a depression where I would cry all afternoon. And my youngest son would tell me, Mama, you're going to get a job. Somebody's going to call for you. And like I said, I got another job, got laid off again. And I couldn't put myself on that roller coaster ride again. It was too emotional and I couldn't do it. So that allowed me to look within myself. And even though I used to write books for a hobby, because I wrote books, just to expand my mindset, not understanding at that time. Okay. I'm telling you from hindsight, because at that time I was just writing because it was fascinating to me. What was coming out of me? What was coming out of me? And I wrote books. I wrote pamphlets. I used to be invited to speak at these nonprofit events. And I always wanted to have something to put into the attendees' hands. So I would write little booklets, little pamphlets, put it together, and have that distributed to the attendees, because I didn't want them to forget those highlights, those points that I had spoken about. That was what got me out when I had to look within myself. And from that moment forward, I have been living on my design pathway. You see, unless you're living your purpose, the purpose that you are designed for in this life, you'll just be existing. And I'm going to tell you, that layoff was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The best thing, because it put me on the right path. It changed my mindset. It allowed me to see what was inside of me. Like many of you women, you have low confidence, low self-confidence. You have low self-esteem because you have not met up with your genius. You haven't met up with your genius. You don't know who you are. You're apologizing for who you are. You're thinking that you need to fit into a lifestyle. You need to fit in to this world when you're not made to or designed to fit in, but you're designed to stand out in your uniqueness and be unapologetic about it. You don't have to apologize for who you are. And, I hear women saying this, oh, I'm sorry, that's just how I am. And I'm not saying it where people are saying things rude or anything of that nature, but they apologizing for the gifts, the talents, the abilities that they have within inside of them. They're not knowing their gifts. They're not knowing their value. They're not knowing their worth. And at the same time, they're suffering on the inside with, like I say, self-esteem problem and self-consciousness. They're suffering on the inside. They're suffering. But this need not be, y'all. This need not be. And right now, as I'm personally thinking about this, because I want to dive into this, are you purpose driven? And what is your responsibility? I want to tell you about this curriculum that's being prepared right now, that I'm preparing right now, that's going to help you, women, if you're suffering with self-esteem or self-confidence issues, or your value or your work, you're not even seeing, or even your self-image, all of that goes along with being who you are and appreciating who you are and being unapologetic about it. So as time goes on, I'm going to allow you to come in and sign up for that course, because it will be something that will help you stop existing, but truly living your life on purpose. It says wisdom is the principal thing. Okay? Wisdom is the principal thing. It's a rule of action. A rule of action. And it's a conduct. It's a truth. That's what wisdom is. And I want you to get wisdom in this, okay? When I'm talking about, are you purpose driven? To have the wisdom, to be purpose driven, where you never have to apologize, where you never have to, feel sorry, where you never have to go back, and understanding. I don't know why, people don't understand. You have to understand, understand who you are. Understand your uniqueness. Wisdom is the principal thing. But with all thy getting, you have to get an understanding. Understanding who you are. Understanding your value. Because otherwise, you'll just be on the merry-go-round. On that merry-go-round lifestyle. Going around and around. And like I said, that shouldn't be. That should not be. Okay? So, what happens when you're on track? What happens when you're on your design journey? Because your path, that design journey, is your connection to everything that you desire. Let me say that again. Your path is your connection to everything that you desire. Now, remember when you were a child, before life got in the way, how you had those dreams, those imaginations, and you believed that nothing was impossible to you. But somewhere along the line, and like I say, I call it life, and that's exactly what it was, it got in the way. But it's possible for you to get realigned and walk down your design pathway. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even what you're going through right now. Instead of looking at things to come to crush you, to come to defeat you, just think, maybe it's something that's come to redirect you. Because that's exactly what those layoffs did for me. Because otherwise, I would have still been climbing that corporate ladder and just existing and not living my life on purpose. And the same for you. It was a redirection in my life. Think of how many of you have gone through this thing, this suddenly. You know, we had the pandemic in 2020. People are still going through certain things. A bad situation. But don't allow bad situations and see them as bad situations, and that's all you see them as. See those situations as opportunities to redirect you to where you need to be. But again, that's wisdom. Now let's go to the first one, okay? The affirmation for today, before I get into that, is I am essential. And you have to say that to yourself. I am essential. And you are. You know, you're just not an afterthought or nothing or nobody. You are essential. Ladies, you are essential. Gentlemen, you are essential. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you that you're not essential, that you're not important, that you don't have value, you don't have worth. Because you are somebody. You are somebody. Now, let me tell you, when you're on or you you're walking down your purpose-driven life, or you purpose-driven. Now, if you're purpose-driven and you're on your design pathway, the first thing that's going to come across is authority. Okay? Authority. And I talk about being unapologetically you. When you unapologetic about who you are, there's an authority that comes forth with that. You can't pretend to be somebody that you're not, because there's no authority there. Remember, it doesn't come from, the outside in. It comes from the inside out. That authority that you walk in, living within your purpose. So it's time to take the mask off. It's time to come out of the pretense and live your truth. Be your truth. It's okay, y'all. It's okay to be who you are, to live your design, purpose-driven life. Okay? It's okay. When you're purpose-driven, you're not only, walking in that authority, but you're more influential. Influence. I don't know why I can't say that word today. Influential. You're more influential. Okay? Your audience will be attracted to you because they could see that you have the answers to the questions that they are asking. Purpose driven. You see how much weight that has on it? Your genius is your mastery. That's your evidence right there. Your genius. It's just like a fish, y'all. If you take a fish out of water and put it on the bank, what's going to happen? It's going to flip and it's going to flop. And some of you, that's how your life is. It's just flipping and flopping. It's not getting any traction at all. You're just flipping this way, flopping that way. But once you put that fish back into the water, its genius comes forth and it's flowing. You know, it's flowing in that water. It's not flipping and flop. It's taking root. It's taking root. It's being grounded because it's in its purpose. It's operating in its purpose. And if you're not operating in your purpose, you're just existing. You're just existing. Now let's move into the next talking point. And this is what happens. This is what happens when you walk down your purpose-driven path. You have an authority. And something that you don't have to make up. Because some people, they do certain things, or they say certain things, or they wear certain things just to create authority. Okay? To make themselves be more authoritative. You don't have to do that when you're living your purpose. When you're walking in your genius. You don't have to do that. Because that's something that automatically comes out of you. Here's the next one. Ability. Okay? When you're purpose driven, there's an ability that's coming forth out of you. Your drive. There's a drive that's coming out of you. There's that experience. Okay? That experience. Just think of the experience that you have in a certain area that you never have connected, because you were just existing. You couldn't see it. And when you can't understand something, you can never see it. First, you have to get an understanding in order to see something. And I think I talked about that yesterday. And if you missed yesterday's program, when I broke down the understanding and the knowledge and how it enables you to see, and apply what you have seen. And that was deep. That, I had to go back and look at that myself, that particular clip. And I think I even put it over social media as a inspirational tip of the day, with understanding to see and knowledge how to apply it. And that's what happens when you're purpose driven. You'll have that ability, because otherwise you won't, go inside of yourself to be able to use those tools, those gems, those treasures in order to connect with your audience, whether you're that entrepreneur out there or whether you're that author out there or whoever you are, that leader. Okay? Everyone has purpose on this earth, and it's up to you to come into the knowledge of your purpose, to come into the understanding of why you do a certain thing that you do, why you say certain things, why you have certain likes, why you have certain dislikes, why you're more attracted to some things than you are to the other. You have to come into that understanding. But you can't see it unless you see it. Before you see it, or you'll never see it. You can't see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. And with that seeing that I'm talking about is an understanding. Understanding helps you to see clearly, very clear. And also this ability gives you self-confidence. So if you're not having that confidence in yourself, when people say, oh, I'm nervous, I don't have confidence, blah, blah, blah. The first thing I ask you, are you in your right place? Or have you drifted to an unknown zone? Have you drifted away? And that's another thing, even with fear. People fear certain things. And I could go on and break this down, but because of the time. And that's why you have to come and take my classes, because I go into details. I have done thousands of these teaching, y'all. And I'm not just saying that. Some people say, well, it did yes, thousands of these teachings over the years, of different things that affect people. I have written about it. I have spoken about it. I have, workshops on them. So if you like to connect with me, you could go to the information on the screen that's scrolling across the bottom. And I could put you in touch with whatever product or service that is that you need in order to live your design purpose and be unapologetically you. And it's okay, y'all. It's okay. Okay? To say, well, I'm just existing. But that can be fixed. That can be fixed. Now, another thing, when I'm talking about, are you purpose driven? When you're purpose driven, it comes with weight. Okay? It comes with weight. And that weight is to guide somebody toward their direction. Okay? There's a weight that comes with this program each and every day to guide you toward your direction, to break it down, to allow you to see what I see for you. Because you may be cloudy. You may not be even understanding. And I've heard people say, well, it's a lot of value. You give a lot of value, but I give basic value. There's much, much more that could, help you to reach your design, your ultimate goal. Put it that way, your ultimate goal, and stay on that correct path without veering off like you have done so many times. Okay? But when you're on your design pathway, when you're purpose driven, there's a certain weight that comes with it, okay, to guide you toward your journey. And it pulls things together because a lot of times people are scattered. I talked about that yesterday, about having disunity within themselves. They're scattered. They're over here, they're over there, they wherever the wind blows, that's where they at. They're over here one day, they hear something over there, they going over there. Distractions. A lot of things could get their focus off of what their ultimate goal is. They're thinking if they try it this way, it's gonna happen for them. They hear somebody over here is saying, "Oh no, it's this way. This is how you reach it." They have all this scattered information going on. Always trying to pull something from the outside in order to reach their design goals, when all the time they already have it right within themselves. Think about that. This weight is also a consistency, okay? Being consistent. When you're on your design pathway and you're purpose driven, there will be a consistency. It's no more how you feel or how your day is going or anything of that nature. It's about your audience. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up as the expert that you say that you are. It's about that. When you're purpose driven, nobody has to probe you and prod you and tell you that you have to do this, that, or the other. You automatically do it. You automatically do it. Nobody have to sit here and encourage you. You'll automatically do it. Do you always feel like doing something each and every day? I'm going to tell you. Sometimes for me, getting up because, I have gone to bed late or early, whatever. I'm going to tell you, I was up at 2:00 this morning. I didn't get back. I went to bed, I think, let me see. I went to bed at 11 something, 11:30. I woke up at 2, about 2:15. I didn't go back to sleep until 5:30 this morning. Then I was up again at 7. But I'm here doing live streams. That's what I'm saying. When you are purpose driven, you're going to show up for your audience. You're going to stop making those excuses, thinking that it's all about you. Okay? Now I'll catch sleep when I can, later on today. And I'm not saying that, that it should always be that way. But it was just something on my mind that I had to write down. I get a lot of my thoughts when I'm sleeping. And I was just so, keyed up about it. But the way is consistency. Okay, that's one of the attributes there, consistency. Now, when you're purpose driven, there's also a power that comes from it. There's a natural strength, okay? A natural strength. Again, you don't have to buy this power. You don't have to fake this power. You don't have to beg this power. You can't hijack this power. It's a natural power, y'all. It's a natural power. People think that they need certain things for power, but it's a natural power. It's an electrifying, contagious situation. When you're living your truth, when you walk in your truth, when you're on your design pathway, there's a power that comes with it. There's an electrifying, contagious, energy that comes from it. Living your truth. That's why you have to be unapologetically you. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you're carrying. Okay? And there's a proficiency also. You're locating your treasures and your gems. You understand? The location of those treasures and those gems. What lies inside of you? That's the power inside of you. That's why you can't discount yourself, ladies. You can't discount yourself and seeing everybody else as being more important than you. You can't do that. You are just as important. You are essential. Everyone's important. Okay? You're on your own race. You're running your own race on your own time clock. So you can't compare yourself to anybody else. Just be you and be unapologetic about it. Be unapologetic. Also, when you are purpose driven, when you are walking your design pathway, there's a transformation that comes with it. A grand transformation that it will cause a disruption in the way that your audience ordinarily think. Okay? They may be thinking this way, and this is the only way that it could be. But when you're living your truth and you're projecting that truth to your audience, it causes a disruption to shift the way that they had normally been thinking. Because you could see it for them before they could see it for themselves. So now, when you're presenting whatever it may be, whether it's that message, whether it's that product or that service, through it, whatever you have created is going to help them see what they couldn't see before. Now that's going to give them an easy win. An easy win. And it also causes, a reordering of direction. A reordering of direction. When somebody's, they'll have strayed off the path. And that's what I'm talking about this morning. A lot of you may have strayed off your path. So I'm through this message or through this live stream, you're getting a reordering of the direction to get you back on that right track where your design pathway is. Good morning, Stephanie. How you doing this morning? It's so great to see you. Haven't seen you in such a long time. But, that transformation in your mind, the way that you're thinking, the way that you're doing things, the way that you're seeing things, okay? It causes that, you to see things in a different way, to, bring you an easy win. Because I understand, many times people are struggling along the way. They're struggling with who they are and what's happening in their lives. And because of the clutter, because of the things that have come in their way, so they're not able to see their path. Remember being on that country road in the middle of nowhere on a dark, foggy night, and you're holding on to that steering wheel and you won't let it go. People actually go through life that way. They can't see. So they're holding on and they're bracing themselves, and they're full of fear. They're full of all these self-esteem problems, self-confidence problems. They're so full of that. So they can't see their direction. But once you show up and you're purpose driven and you're walking down your design pathway, and you have within yourself those treasures, those gems that's coming outside of you, they're flowing outside of you, it's going to cause that disruption in somebody's mind to see, hey, this is where I need to be. Instead of being over here, I need to be over there. I need to get back to where I need to be. It's not about us, audience. It's all about your audience. Whether, like I said, whether you're that leader, whether you're on that book writing journey, whether you're that entrepreneur out there, wherever you are, okay, you have to remember, be purpose driven. You have a purpose. You're not just, somebody existing. You have a purpose. And it's up to you to find out who you really are. Who are you? Do you know that? You heard people ask you those questions, that question, who are you? Have you ever thought about that, asking yourself, who am I? A lot of people don't even know who they are. They have no idea because they never have sat back and done an assessment on themselves to see who they truly are. But when you're purpose driven, it will bring a transformation. It also will begin to delete limiting behaviors and bring understanding and knowledge. And like I said, once you get an understanding, that's why you have to go back and listen at yesterday's broadcast. Once you get an understanding, then you'll begin to see. And once you see, now you take that knowledge and you'll be able to apply it. Because otherwise, You're not going to do anything with it. How many times you have been in classes or meetings or workshops or whatever they were, and you took down all these notes. You had, a notebook full of notes, and that's all they were. You didn't understand them. That's why you didn't apply. But if you understood them, you would apply them. So I want you to think about that. Let that sit within you for a second. Think about that. So when I'm talking about, are you purpose driven and what is your responsibility? I'm talking about your authority. Okay. When you're purpose driven, you're going to walk in your authority. It's nothing that you could pull from the outside inside. It's something that comes from the inside out. It's time to stop pretending. Be unapologetically you. Appreciate who you are. Once you appreciate who you are, you teach people how to treat you, okay? By walking in your purpose. And, not allowing things to come and try to suck the life out of you. Okay? You have value. You have worth. Don't let anybody come and break you down. That's why you can't allow yourself to listen to everything and to look at everything. You always have to protect your ear gates and your eye gates. It's very, very important. Protect those things because it will break you down. Again, that was on yesterday's broadcast if you didn't get it. Also, your ability, okay? Your ability, your drive. That's what that ability and drive is all about. Yes, Stephanie. God bless you too. It's a long time. I haven't seen you in such a long time. I'd love to see you. Maybe we could get together. Are you back in town or what? Let me know, Let me know. Because you could always go to connect with me with that on the screen, okay? Linktree/keys to wealth building. And that's the way you could connect with me. But I would love to see you. I would love to see you. It's been such a long time. It's such a pleasure, Oh, okay. You're not in town. Okay. You're in Hartford. Oh, okay. Well, anytime you know what? You can still connect with me on that link. And then we could do a Zoom meeting together. Okay. So I would love to see you. Would love to talk to you and see what's been going on with you. See what's been going on with you. Been such a pleasure to see you today. It's always good to connect with people that you have met, years ago. It's always a good thing to connect. Always stay in contact with people because, you just never know. You never know. Let's see. Pulling some of the comments on the screen. Yeah, I see some people from time to time, but, it's just a pleasure, just seeing you this morning. Glad that you're here. And I hope that, what you have heard and the other ones, because, sometimes people are, not in the comments, but the other people who have heard and what you have heard has been, a blessing to you, has these nuggets that I've been dropping about, your divine, your purpose driven, your divine purpose and your design pathway, the authority that comes with it, the ability that comes with it, the weight that comes with it, the power that comes with it, the transformation that comes with it, that causes a disruption in the way that people ordinarily think. And, that's something major right there, that disruption in the way that people ordinarily think, because sometimes people just settle. They settle for second best, or they just settle and think, well, this is the best that I could do, when there's so much more for them. Okay. And when they come into that transformation, they come into that disruption, it does something to, jog their memory, to open up their eyes, where now they can understand. When I'm talking about the eyes, I'm not talking about the natural eyes. I'm talking about the eyes of their understanding. Okay. Until the eyes of your understanding becomes enlightened, you won't be able to see. Okay. You won't be able to see. And you won't apply the knowledge that you hear. So that's something very, very important that needs to be done. So I'm glad that, you all joined me today. Well, you're welcome, Stephanie. You are welcome. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I always hope that these broadcasts, reach people where it needs to reach people, and, move them from out of that mediocre zone, or, like I say on this program, maximize your potential and stop leaving money on the table, especially women. Stop leaving money on the table. And I don't know if you were on at that point, Stephanie, when I was saying about, I'm writing a curriculum right now about women that have low self-esteem, women that have self-confidence issues. If you know any women that are struggling with that, I'll have that information coming up, shortly. So that's why I want you to get in contact with me, or send me, your email or whatever, and we can stay in touch, because 79% of women suffer from low or no self-confidence and low self-esteem. And, it's a shame when they don't see their value, they don't see their worth. And, women have so much going for them. They always taking care of everybody else, and they always putting themselves on the back burner. And that's just something that shouldn't be. So I'm raising up women to the next level, so they could stop, like I say, stop leaving money on the table, could, maximize their potential and be all that they can be by living their purpose on their design pathway, and have a purpose-driven life. That's very, very important. So I thank you all for joining me today on this segment. Let me go to the comments right quick. Know a lot of women that need it. Okay. Keep in contact with me. Okay. I think we're on Facebook, friends on Facebook. So we could contact each other there and everything. And I'll give you that link as soon as, I complete this, writing this curriculum. Okay. Because I'm reaching out to women. I'm reaching out because this is something that needs to be done. Okay. Something that needs to be done. So thank you all for joining me today on this segment of Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. And remember this is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. So have a great rest of your day.